I'm a professional player with over $1,000 in tournament earnings and a track record of climbing from bronze to unreal multiple times. Today I'm sharing my top tips to help you reach the highest rank as quickly and efficiently as possible in Fortnite's new Marvel Season Chapter 5 Season 4. I'll be sharing strategies that Tier 1 pros use to win thousands of dollars in tournaments, so pay attention and listen carefully for what I'm about to say. Let's talk about pregame. Top tier pros don't just hop into tournaments without a plan. Their success hinges on preparation, and adopting similar habits can significantly boost your chances of ranking up. So here's how your preparation should look like. First, identify if you're a solo player that can consistently win fights by yourself or you rely on others for help. If you can consistently win 1v1s, solos might be your fastest route to ranking up and preparing you for the solo victory cups. However, if solo play isn't your strength, or you prefer to play with friends, consider duos, trios, or squads. If you don't have anyone to play with, don't worry. I'm sure there's people in the comment section that are also seeking people to play with, so all you have to do is type your username. Once you've determined your preferred game mode, the next step is to establish a reliable drop spot. Pros often claim drop spots at the start of new seasons because a well-chosen spot can greatly impact the outcome of your game. Drop spots can either set you up for failure or success based on the availability of loot and material. To find your ideal drop spot, head over to Fortnite.gg. This website allows you to view the entire map, every single POI, every unnamed drop spot, and all the items in the map. That includes floor loot, ammo crates, and chests. When selecting a drop spot, ensure it provides sufficient loot. For solos, verify that there's enough loot for yourself. For other team sizes, make sure there's enough loot for the entire team. This will boost the chances of getting the best loadout. The best loadout someone should have typically changes through the new seasons and updates. However, the most common loadout includes a shotgun, assault rifle, 2 healing items, and mobility. Remember, the ideal loadout could look different. Just remember to identify the meta early on in the beginning of a new season by watching what the pros use. Regarding materials, pay attention to the availability of metal. Metal can be hard to find compared to wood and brick, which can be found anywhere in the map. Metal is the strongest material by far, so make sure to get enough of it. Lastly, choose a location that aligns with your confidence level. Edge of the map spots offer safety, while central locations provide more action but require better fighting skills. At the end of the day, the most important tip to ranking up fast is surviving off spawn. So don't go for the best POI if you struggle at fighting. This will lead to losing more games and percentage points, slowing your process of achieving unreal. So what makes a great fighter? I'm glad you asked. If you were to ask a tier 1 pro, they would say the same thing. To be a great fighter, you need to master aim, piece control, and peeking. All of these skills can be mastered by practicing in creative. Creative is the most efficient and fastest way to improve at the game. It doesn't require you to loot or wait for a lobby to be filled up. You can just load up a map and practice each individual skill without anyone slowing you down. One of the best maps to practice your aim and piece control is a map created by Zero Build, which is called Aim, Edit, Piece Control. This map has everything you need in order to improve your close, mid, and long range aim. It also has everything you need in order to master your edit speed and piece control. When practicing these skills, it is important to focus on your crosshair placement. For peeking, I recommend a Raider 464 map called Mechanics Training V4. On this map, select the peeking section and focus on taking shots where the bot can't shoot you. This will help you take better peeks in fights, reducing the chances of your opponent dealing damage and eliminating you. While these practice maps are fantastic for mastering your skills, the true test comes when you apply what you've learned in an actual gameplay. After each practice section, make it a priority to use those skills in realistic maps that feature the current season loot pool. Practicing with the weapons that are actively in rank is crucial, as it ensures you're familiar with the items you'll encounter in competitive matches. Remember, these are skills that tier 1 pros constantly work on before playing in a tournament, so make sure you do the same before playing a single ranked game. Now that we've gone over what you should do outside of playing ranked games, here's a full breakdown of the best strategies tier 1 pros use in the early game. When you drop into a game, always keep track of how many players landed near you or in the surrounding area. This information is crucial for planning your loot route and staying alert for potential third parties. If you are contested, loot quickly and efficiently. Prioritize gathering weapons and healing items as swiftly as possible to minimize the chances of enemies obtaining better items. At the same time, make sure to gather enough materials for the off-spawn fight. This approach helps you secure an advantage in early fights, and it reduces the likelihood of being overwhelmed by other players. If you're uncontested, use this opportunity to loot at a relaxed pace. Make sure to gather your preferred weapons, healing items, and sufficient materials to ensure you're well prepared for mid-game fights. Once you're done with off-spawn, remember the players that landed around you. This will determine your rotation and the next steps you will take. This part of the video goes over what pros consider their mid game, which can look differently based on what kind of player you are. If you're an aggressive player looking to take the fight to your opponents, you'll want to rotate towards the areas where you spotted other players during your jump from the battle bus. The goal here is to find and engage enemies early, capitalize on being the one to initiate the fight. While this can be very risky, the reward is reaching your desired rank faster. On the other hand, if you prefer a more passive approach, your best bet is to rotate to the dead side of the zone. This is part of the map with the fewest players, making it a safer route. You'll avoid unnecessary conflicts and reduce the risk of getting caught by third parties. This strategy is used by many tier 1 pros in order to rack up as many placement points as possible. While you're less likely to run into players, there might be a couple of players doing the same rotation, so don't be too afraid to take fights in order to rack up some elimination points. If you do choose to fight, make sure to initiate a fight with some damage. This will ensure that you have the advantage by putting them in defense and making you the aggressor. When taking fights, still be aware of your surroundings for third parties, and try not to take damage to ensure you end the fight with little to no heals wasted. In addition, anytime you take fights, avoid any build fights, because this could result in you wasting all your resources and making you very vulnerable to third parties. Instead, focus on box fights. This will ensure you waste less materials and it will make it hard for other players to spot you. While fighting, make sure to apply what you've learned in your practice sessions. This will ensure you don't create any bad habits that can hinder your progression to improving as a player. The final part of the game is referred to as endgame. This stage will look significantly different from what pros experience in a tournament. However, there are essential strategies that can help you excel in this crucial phase, and I'm here to break them down for you. When you reach endgame, it's crucial to manage your resources wisely. Avoid being overly cautious or greedy with what you have. Make sure to use your materials and healing items proactively rather than waiting until you're on the brink of elimination. For instance, taking action while you're still healthy gives you a better chance to secure a refresh, compared to waiting until you're down to 1 HP with no materials.